We have a lot of artwork to cover, and I'm very happy with the turnout. Super. Great. So on behalf of our board of directors and our staff, we'd welcome museum members, whether they are artists participating in this juried exhibition or otherwise. And we welcome our guests, the museum's members to be, to this members jury gallery talk and reception event. There's also a Zoom. I would like to welcome our Zoom component here. We're streaming this over the internet, and please feel free, those in the Hope McLennan Gallery, to get up and join us in this room and go back as you see fit, because we want to make everybody comfortable. Normally, we would actually be streaming this down in our screening room, Delisandra screening room, but we have a very special project that we're working on. We're expanding our art storage by approximately 60% by upgrading it with track storage and metal shelving. And so right now, all of our artwork is in the screening room while we finish populating the artwork back into art storage. So in the future, you can expect that there'll be the Delisandro Auditorium for our simulcast. A special thank you to the exhibition's support provided from the Arthur McMurtry Fund. Thank you very much. Clap, clap, clap. This is our 11th annual members juried exhibition. The first one was in 2016, and it was themed Breaking the Mold. So I'm happy to report that since the mold has been broken, we have increasing interest year after year for our juried exhibitions. It is our intention that through our 2 annual juried exhibitions, one a members, the other an international juried exhibition, we offer our patrons a view of the rich, diverse, and extensive community of practicing artists we are so fortunate to have, particularly on Cape Cod, but also beyond. These exhibitions also support the artists and the museum through art sales. Over $100,000 were paid back to artists in 2025 as a result of these efforts. If you would like to see pricing for any of the artworks in this exhibition, it's on the handout that you can get in the lobby. It was not a requirement that artwork be for sale to enter this exhibition. This year, we invited Cape Cod Museum of Art members to let their creativity flow by submitting their original artworks in any subject, style, or medium, representational, abstract, or non-objective, showing their boldest ideas, originality, and/or signature style. All selected artworks have never been exhibited at the museum before. Liz Perry, artist, educator, and as I've learned, local historian, served as the juror. The result is a vibrant art buffet that celebrates each artist's individuality. The 541 entries were received and only 74 artists were selected for the exhibition. 3 Jurors' Choice Awards will be announced today at the $100, $200, and $300 levels. In this gallery talk, we will circle the exhibition hall, and artists will have the opportunity to share any information they would like about their artwork, their process, or themselves. But we ask that you keep your comments to a minute to allow for further additions from the juror. To quote Liz Perry, narrowing down the artwork for this exhibition was challenging. I first had to internalize all the submissions as a whole before any threads of meaning could be drawn between the works, and a final cohesive subset could be chosen. As an artist, I am regularly confronted with an aesthetic puzzle. But when you have an open themed exhibition combined with the sheer number of works submitted, making a final selection was both a demanding and a rewarding exercise in distillation. I want to thank everyone who came forward and placed their artwork into this pool. Another juror with different values and sensibilities would have solved this puzzle very differently. Your collective vision, artistry, and messaging move me. I want to welcome Liz Perry.
Thank you.
You want to
Well,
say a few
I
things?
just want to say it was just such a pleasure to jury this show. and to see the enormous amount of talent that we have here on the Cape. And there were so many wonderful pieces that could not make it into this exhibit. And if we had a much larger room, it would have been a very different show. But I'm very happy with the way it all came together. And I think it works very well together. I'm just very pleased with it. And I was very pleased to have the opportunity to do this too.
So, yes. Let's stay with me. So I think we should start with any artists that need to leave relatively soon. I know there are some artists that have other commitments, and then we'll start and continue to do the rest. But I think I know at least one. Ro Osborne over here has his piece, and we can start with him.
Thanks, Benton, and thanks for the opportunity to be in this exhibition. It's really cool. This piece is called Wedge Bridge. I started back in the 1900s. I started exploring the whole concept of wedges, and wedges are instruments of breaking things apart and splitting things. So I was trying to use them ironically, and so I started making bridges out of wedges. And so I had sort of abandoned it until just recently. This was done just this past fall. This is a piece that I've had bubbling around in my brain for quite a while. But I think given the situation in the world right now with things being split apart, I think using those splits to join things together is a good thing. Thanks.
Thank you. And Liz, please feel free to jump in if you want to add anything to, what compelled you to select these works.
I didn't see this so much as the wedges, but I loved just the linear quality of it and the balance, and the clean lines were so powerful, and how it's not completely symmetrical, but it is still symmetrical. It just really spoke to me as being a beautiful piece. And I love the glass and the wood, how they work so beautifully together.
Ro made the base as well as the sculpture, which is great. So I believe there's at least one other person that reached out to me to get first in line because I had another appointment. If they're here, please come forward. Okay, if we're going to start in this far corner and we'll work our way around. Okay. This work is by Rita Colantonio. It's titled The Season in Between, Digital Art Print. Is Rita with us? So what we normally do actually is if anybody on this wall is here, they can come forward. I don't know if Kim Rumberger made it today. No? Okay, great. Kate Nelson, here you go.
I wouldn't paint if I could talk about my paintings, or if I could sing about my paintings, or if I could, best of all, dance about my paintings. So this is what I do since I don't dance. I have to thank my long gone Buddhist painting teacher, Phyllis Shireko, for helping me to find something authentic to paint, to go beyond contrivance, and also for freeing me from the tyranny of representation.
Thank you, Kate. This artwork is titled Let the Winds Have Its Way, and it's pigmented stick on cradled board. So just stop me if the artist is present for any of these artworks, and we'll just keep on going. Okay, great. So this is E. Aspinwall.
Hi. Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I'd just like to say thank you to the museum and everybody here who creates these wonderful opportunities for living artists. And I thank Liz Perry for selecting Fire Tenders for this show. I think a lot about memories and dreams and how alike they can become over time. Memories can start to seem dreamlike, and some dreams become as real as memories. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference. So this painting began as a memory of many bonfires over the years, and but it very quickly took on a life of its own, and I can't really tell you what it all means. So when that happens in one of my paintings, I try to analyze it the way I would if it was a dream. And I do that symbol by symbol, and I wrote about that in my statement, which you can read. But for right now, I just want to say that for me, the central figure in this painting is the fire itself, which is a bonfire, which is created with intent by humans for either a ritual, a celebration, or to get rid of something that you no longer want, and sometimes all of the above. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Eve. Wonderful. Okay, great. Joy George.
Hi. First of all, I want to say thank you to Liz Perry for choosing my piece, and of course to Benton and the museum. This painting, and hopefully most of my figurative paintings, I try to explore human expression, both with intuitive brushstrokes and expressive emotion. So rather than precise detail, I'm just trying to bring out the feeling in the figure as opposed to the rendering of the figure. And I'm going to keep it short and just say that.
The title of the piece is Held in Green Light, and it's oil on paper. Like it was mentioned, all of the artists had the opportunity to write a little statement about the artwork, so I hope you take the time to read their statements. Okay, I know Jane Lincoln is with us. Here she is.
Okay, Jane Lincoln from Falmouth. My appetite is always for color. And my aim is to gain your attention from a distance with color and reward you if you take the time to come up close with some details. So I will explain the details that you should be able to see as you get up close. There is a vibration that you can see between the cadmium and the magenta. And it may just vibrate from a distance, but if you get up close, you will see physically, it is an orange stripe that I painted. There's a blue stripe here that exists between the green and the violet. And from a distance, it is the same value. The colors are the same value, so it may disappear from a distance, but it will be bright when you get up close. I use interference pigment, which has mica in it. So there is a stripe here that will shift as you go around the painting and look at it from different angles. And what the interference does is it will match the glow that happens around the edge of the entire painting. The glow, unfortunately, is better on a white wall, but I had no choice. And so the glow goes with the subject of the painting, majestic magenta, and flows around the painting and across the middle. So thank you to Liz Perry and to the Cape Cod Museum of Art for the opportunity to be part of the menu of Art Buffet.
Wow, thank you, Jane. I would like to also note that it's almost sculptural in nature too, because there's many minute details that you see when you really get close to Jane's work, including there is some relief texture to the surface, and the paper extends beyond the edge of the backing, and even the fact that it's raised off the wall. I think all those elements play subtly together. Anything to add, Jane? No. Okay, do we have any? Yes. Oh, great. So Susan Stewart, and it's Starlit Swimmer.
Thank you so much for having this beautiful show. There's so many beautiful paintings. I'm amazed. Starlit Swimmer was inspired by a walk through the woods of Eagle Pond, one of Cape Cod's many kettle ponds. Eagle Pond has no homes along its shores, preserving its quiet, pristine beauty. Like many of my works, this piece begins with a photograph. I always start from a real memory and slowly move towards a fabricated one. Through bright color and layered imagination, I aim to infuse my paintings with energy while using nature as a reminder of the beauty that surrounds us. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Susan. It's, Ed Chesnovich happened to be here tonight. Ed also teaches classes here at the museum, and this is one of his beautiful marsh scenes. He has studios on the marsh. Okay, actually, I'm going to do some of the sculptures. Mike Wright, excellent.
Hi, thank you. I just want to talk real briefly about my process, and it's pretty simple. I look for found painted wood. I don't paint this wood. I only use what I find. And I used to find great chunks of boats and stuff on the beach. I'm talking almost 40 years ago. But now I have to go into the dumpsters. So I dumpster dive to get my wood. Unfortunately, the palette that has changed over the years, and many people who renovate use gray, white, beige. So luckily I have a great stash, and hopefully it'll survive the next few years, and I can keep working. So I basically hunt for wood like a scavenger, recycle as much as I can. And I'm also very much influenced by modernists who used to paint in Provincetown, like Motherwell and Blanche Lizelle in particular. And a lot of these shapes I used in this piece called Modernist Sculpture Number 2 relate to Blanche's shapes in her paintings and color as well. And I also want to thank Liz for picking this, because it dialogues beautifully with so many pieces in here. And it'll pull forward the color from way back there to here and cross. So great eye. Thank you.
I think Liz has some comments she wants to share about your work and some good news.
This piece I chose for second prize, Modernist Sculpture Number 2. And I wrote, exciting use of materials with a fresh and immediate approach make this sculpture from every angle a delight to the eye. Color, balance, and form create an engaging and inspired piece of work. Oh, thank you. I love it.
So let's move to Ken Holbrook. He has 2 works here, and he recently got a commission for a public sculpture. I'm sorry, I always do that. Ken Holbrook. There must have been one Ken Holbrook in my life, but Dave Holbrook, who recently had a public sculpture commission in Orleans. It's near Friends Marketplace. And this is a little bit of a departure for you, isn't it, Ken? Or Ken, Dave?
Yes, it is, Steve. Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor to be here, and thank you, Liz Perry, for including my work in this show. I'm doing a repressed Scandinavian victory dance right now. Guess what I have to say is going to replicate what my statement is, but 15 years ago, Eve and I were on the Kalapana lava plains before dawn, photographing the live lava flow. And we watched as this 2,000-degree lava consumed these tender little green shoots in its path. And our guide told us that these were ohia, Hawaii's national tree. I know it's a state, but I say national. And the first plants to repopulate that lava field a full 7 years after the previous flow. So I had a little epiphany about that, just thinking about the persistence of life in the face of a ruthless universe. And about a little under 10 months ago, I was recuperating from hip surgery and lying in bed, couldn't do anything. I was dying to get back into my shop and get back to work. And I thought about these antique Douglas fir posts that I'd salvaged from one of my remodeling jobs, and with the intention of doing something sculpture with them. I didn't quite know what yet, but then I decided that I was going to make them into plants again, and symbolizing for me that resilience and persistence, revitalization of life on the Kalapana Plains. So as soon as I could get up and grab my cane and get out to the shop, I was out there carving. And that's about it. I just want to say that one other piece from this group is in Pam, which the reception is tomorrow night, the opening reception for that. So I'm having a good week. So thanks very much.
Thank you, Dave. Great. Is Corinne Adams with us tonight? And how about we have Jerry Stahl? Oh, there you are. Great. Here you go.
Thanks. So this is the Angel of Progress. It's named after a short piece by the German Jewish intellectual Walter Benjamin, who wrote this piece about the Angel of Progress during the rise of Hitler, right before Benjamin committed suicide trying to escape from the Nazis. He didn't leave Germany early enough. And so he had an ironic sense of progress that reminds me every time I finish watching the news these days. The angel, rather than looking forward like you would think of a progressive to a rosy future, turned her back and looked back and saw the chaos that was piling up behind her. So that's the downer interpretation of the piece. The positive thing is I tried to bring out the nature of the wood in my carvings in a couple ways. One is I open it up so you can see into the center of the log. This is actually, the whole center is missing from here. So that lets you see the different levels of wood. And I try to get away from the log shape, which is just a line sort of the cherry tree, by opening it up and by adding some asymmetry to it, like the twisting legs, and adding on the wings to add width to it. But mainly I just love the wood so much that I try to make it as inviting as possible to the eye and the hand. I guess in museums, you're not supposed to touch the sculpture, but it's all about touching it for me. Thanks.
Thank you. I think we could move to Neil Kennedy. I think I saw him in the house. Okay, here he comes. Neil is our ceramics instructor, primary ceramics instructor. And this is one of his pieces that has a very personal connection.
Thank you. Thank you for including me in this show. This piece is inspired by a piece of foam that I had found, or we had found, excuse me, on the beach where I had gotten married. We think it came from a boat hull, and you can see how torqued and curved it is. And I just really loved the shape of the form and wanted to try to replicate it in clay. So I made this out of slabs of clay. It's a stoneware clay, and it's a hollow box. And then I took this blue glass to put into the surface here to kind of replicate a tide pool on the beach. So that's what inspired me, and here it is.
Thank you, Neil. What's amazing to me as a person who likes to work with glass in a kiln is this big puddle of glass in the middle of the ceramic piece, which is something you don't see very often. It's beautiful. Joan, I don't want to mispronounce her name, but I will. Zagrablani. Okay, thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. And thank you. It's an honor to be included in the show with such beautiful work. To say a little bit about this piece, I had to wait a long time to do any artwork. I always wanted to be an artist, ended up going to school, college, getting trained for a very ordinary, everyday type of career. When I retired, that's when I really dove into clay work. And my whole goal was just pure self-expression. The way I work with clay, I work with coils very spontaneously, starting to build and then letting my eye and hand kind of do the work and say where it's going to go next. Yeah, this is a piece it's kind of an intersection for me. I don't work functionally usually. It's an intersection between looking at a functional piece, a bowl, within a more symbolic shape and sculpture. And there's more about that on the pedestal. Thank you.
When I look down in it, I expect to see a vessel that somehow continues. Is this a solid chunk of clay, or is this also hollow? It's hollow. Okay. Okay.
I thought your choice of glaze was fantastic. I loved it that it's like a shiny, like a beacon, like a headlight on top, and then it kind of melts down into this muted, kind of flat glaze, but it has so much texture and feels so organic. And I just fell in love with it when I saw it. And it feels like it's always moving a little bit when you look at it, like it's going to keep moving a little bit. And so it's very fluid. I just love it.
And I just wanted to say, if anybody does want to learn more about building with coils, I'm going to be offering a workshop here at the museum in the spring, so stay tuned.
Great. Thank you. So we're going to continue around the gallery and make our way. Okay. Julie Brooks. Hey, welcome.
Hi, I'd like to say thanks to Liz for picking my work and to the museum. I'm so happy that my work has been included with so many great artists. I haven't been doing art all that long. So this is called East Ham Sunset, basically. Here's the reference photo, and I usually don't even paint representationally or never anything as boring as like a seascape. I mean, why would anybody do that? But like, I took this picture. It was a warm night in Eastham overlooking the bay at a cookout with friends. And, you know, like most Cape Cod landscapes, the colors aren't that exciting a lot of times. So I just punched it up and I really like broke it down to the basic shapes, because what I remembered from it was the clouds, the reflections, the water, the marsh grass. That's really all I remembered. And I occasionally looked at the reference photo. So I just really like how it came out. And I love I love the beingness of the clouds and the heaviness of them. And summer is coming. Don't forget that.
Great, thank you so much. I want to mention also how Liz was so interactive and devoted so much time to not only during the show, but she came in when it was time to place the artwork. And so all of the art placements in this gallery are attributed to her taste. And so that I think they're lovely. I think you can especially, you know, certainly see it, different vignettes on each wall, but this is one that stands out. Do we have Anita? It's McFadden. Okay, welcome.
Hi. This painting is kind of a figurative and abstract representation of the stillness between these two people and their vagueness as to their faces and their shapes kind of add to the ability for you to see yourself there. So, you know, I'm kind of new to art, as someone else said, as I retired, and it's kind of a surprise to be here.
Thank you, and keep on going. Thomas Hoffman is here, I know. Great. He's been very inclusive in a lot of our exhibitions recently, and it's good to see you back.
Thank you. Thank you. So when I read the brief for this show, it sort of spoke to me about internal creativity or inspiration. So I feel like this one, I chose this one because I felt like it had two sort of internal inspirations. One for me is when I start slowing down in my ideas and productivity, I just make a lot of blank canvases. And that just inspires me to get in there and put some paint on them. So that's one aspect. And the other one was just sort of a mental space. And lately I've been getting into this thing of thinking about like, how do I want someone to feel about stuff that I'm making? And I draw on a sort of memory and a mental image of what I think is one of the most wondrous objects made by human beings. And I remember it from when I was like 6 years old, like a small clear rubber ball filled with those, you know, rainbow sparkles. I just love that object. And more than the object itself, I just like to think about how does it make me feel? And just remembering that sense of wonder about this object that was made. And I try to get myself into that headspace and then say, okay, what can I make? And to me, it's like the materials themselves, the paint, the colors. How can I create a sense of wonder with those colors, with the paint? So this piece is called Cascade, and thank you so much for including me.
Thank you, Thomas. You probably had to shake your head to get it just right. So Carol Ann Livingstone, are you here with us? She is? Okay, would you like to say anything? Or this appears to be a vessel, although there's no opening at the top, and it's made out of paper. And it's made out of one sheet of paper that's cut and perforated and folded in such a way that it fits together like a vessel. So it's pretty interesting. If you want to, yeah, thank you. Elizabeth Reynolds is here from Off Cape, and this is the first exhibition she's been part of. Elizabeth? What is the town you live in?
I live in Rehoboth. It's kind of 10 or 15 minutes outside of Providence. This is my painting. I call it Ethereal Whispers, and I wrote a little bit about it. My painting is about a dream that I've been having over the past 5 years. To me, it's my own personal enchanted dreamscape. In my painting, in my dream, I have the ability to fly above the earth, to fly between the trees, and to look at the earth through a bird's eye point of view. In my dream, I have a great deep sense feeling of freedom and happiness. And that's basically what my painting is about. It's about my dream. Thank you so much for having me at this show.
Thank you. And I think everyone should take a chance to come up close to this at some point because there is also some relief texture to the surface. And I think it's really quite calming and pleasing. So thank you. Carol Odell is here with us. Come on down. This piece is called Peau de Soie.
Hello, everybody. I'd like to thank Liz Perry for the work that she put into jurying this show and all the staff of the museum and the volunteers, because I know that it's a lot of work to put on a show like this with so many people. This is called Peau de Soie. That's in reference to fabric that is very soft. I try to paint qualities of exuberant joy being quiet or chaotic. I don't paint nouns, and much of the interpretation is I just want you to feel the painting, but if you see something in it that reminds you of something else, feel free. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. I want to also thank Carol for being part of our collections committee. She helps with volunteering to make sure our collection is as good as it can be. Do we have either Donna Garcia or Martha Little Fuentes? Okay. Hi.
Thank you to Liz Perry and the museum. I really appreciate being part of this beautiful show. I did this painting in Taylor Fox's portrait group, and John was kind enough to sit for us. It's a portrait from life, and it's done in graphite. And I think pencil is so intimate because you just have this little tool between you and the model, and I love to draw. I think that the hands and the face are both so expressive, and the hands tell the story just as much as the face and who the person is. The gesture talks about the immediate way the person feels, but I think the hands and the face tell the life story. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it is quite striking to have such detail in the hands and the face, and then a sketch of the rest. It's a great contrast. Amy Heller, did she make it with us tonight? No, okay. I thought this was an interesting pairing of Amy Heller's flipping figure and the sculpture here. They play well off each other. And I'm going to continue. Is Memi Ish Shalom here? He is. Great.
Hi, everybody, and thank you for including me in the show. This piece is a part of a series called A Wish for a New Dawn. And I think for many artists in these days, we escape to our art, to escape from the kind of reality that is going in such a fast-paced. But even in my art, I still wish for a new dawn. Some two fun facts about this piece. This year's I did last summer. I was in artist residency abroad. So the size of the piece was dictated by the size of my suitcase. The last piece that I had in this museum was a 6-foot piece outdoor. And the other thing, I wanted to get a certain color. It was made in oil-based clay, and this one is casted in resin. But usually I do my own finish, but this time I wanted something else. So this was done by a body shop. So this is a Toyota silver color.
Great. Memi had like he said, a 6-foot sculpture in our sculpture garden for the Cozy exhibition, and we're hoping he submits something for the 2026 biennial Cozy exhibition we'll have on our campus. Is Annie Garrity with us? Yay! Annie Garrity did what's called Jack in ceramic and bronze pigments.
Yeah, this is a water-based clay ceramic, and I actually did a workshop in November on how to bronze clay, and it seemed to work perfectly for this piece. I also used pigments on the tail and the heart, specifically on the tail because it doesn't pool like a glaze, and I wanted the detail of the feathers to be obvious. It's an homage to my dad. The day he died, I was called from Western Mass to come to Brewster. And when I went to collect the mail from the mailbox, a giant red-tailed hawk came swooping down at my shoulder height behind me. And then a few months after that, my granddaughter was discharged from the neonatal intensive care unit, and I was on my way to New York to help the family, and I got 2 flat tires, not 1 but 2, because of a pothole that I could not, get around because I was sandwiched between cars. Anyway, I pulled over to the side of the road. I was crying. I get out of the car. I look up, and there's a red-tailed hawk sitting on a telephone pole, and 2 men come up from behind and say, I'm a mechanic on this car. It's fine. You can drive them. They're run flat tires. And I just like, and it happens so frequently when something poignant is happening in my life that a red-tailed hawk appears. So this is an homage to my father and how he somehow finds me in the afterlife. So.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, let's do Sarah Porter.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Liz, and everybody at the museum. I have an undergraduate degree in sculpture and delayed becoming an architect, which I eventually did. So I got to design a lot of things, but I didn't get to build much. I kind of knew how things fit together, but my craftsmanship wasn't probably up to par. I love to make sculpture. I use cardboard, basic gray cardboard that you'd find on the back piece of a pad of paper. I love it because it's easy. You can change it. You can rip it apart. I use a glue gun. Then I cover the surface with paper that I've recycled using Elmer's glue only. I would like to get into painting the surface. In this case, I found an image that I really liked in an advertisement. It's a cosmetic ad. I love the colors. And so I called it, I forget. searching for beauty. But it's really fun because it's an inexpensive material. You can tear it apart, you can put it together, you can make a lot of changes. One day I'd like to make it really large, a sculpture really large out of paper. If I can figure out a way to waterproof it so it could be outside. If anyone has any ideas, let me know. I'm thinking about a few.
Wow. Even if it weren't paper, enlarging this in some permanent material like metal would be also lovely. To walk around this piece, through the piece would be spectacular. That's what an architecture experience gives you, is the ability to think in scale. Right. So why don't we go ahead and do this wonderful marble piece by Jesse Ensling. It's called Venus's Chariot.
Thank you. Thank you, Benton. Thank you, Liz. This is a marine ecology series that I did. Oh, sure. I started this because I really like walking on the beach and picking up shells. And at some point, global warming kind of hit my head and said, we're going to put some of these out of business, really, because look at the size of this. It was probably about the same size as the shell that I originally found, and that was in Australia. And I had it sent home so I could carve this and stuff. So that's part of it. And there's a whole series that I do for that. So thank you very much for including me.
You may remember at one point Jesse had a whelk, which is our state shellfish, on display, again enlarged to a large degree, and beautiful work. Okay, we'll continue. Is Cindy Ennis here? Ennis? No. Okay. How about Ellen Curley? Oh, great. Where are you from?
Home and wealthy.
Okay.
So I am a representational painter, and most of my paintings, I'm just trying to capture things that I find beautiful. This is actually a collaboration with my nieces. The young one is hanging on the swings, and her sister took a photography class, and she's snapping the picture. And what I love about it is it makes most people smile. So that's it.
Thank you. That's a great collaboration with another generation. So we have Kenneth Hockey in the house. This is his painting. It's called, what is it? Called It a Night. Okay, here you go.
Thank you. Hello, everyone, and everyone sitting in the other room watching. I read a poem once, and it was about a stressed out mother who was trying to prepare a Sunday afternoon dinner, and that gave me the spark to create this work. It's actually a real place of my kitchen in our vacation house in Vermont. But what I did with the principles of design, I used the most vibrant color against the darkest part of the painting to create that focal point. I also used some of the warm colors along the tabletop here just to create some balance. And also the last part of the principles was the vertical and horizontal lines, which I used obviously to create that sense of calm, which is what you see here. My mother had 7 children, and she was a housewife and spent a lot of her time in the kitchen. But at nighttime, at 9 o'clock, the kitchen was closed, the lights went down, the nightlight came on, and we were always respected that was the time. We left her alone and let her have her time. So that's what this painting is about.
That's very touching. Is Robert Bretvitt here? No. Okay. How about Richard McGarr or Lynn Johnson? Okay, we'll keep on going around. John Reddick. I think I saw him here. There he is. Hello, John. He's been part of other shows in the past. Welcome back.
Thank you. I don't know where to begin, but this is my painting. It's Deep Blue Sea. I painted it a few years ago. I think my painting right now would be darker. I've been doing a lot of like angry sea. I wonder why, but anyway, this was in the good old days. And what I'm doing is I'm using acrylic paint and I dilute it so it's kind of fluid as I apply it. What I like about this is the way the colors blend, the different blues into the greens. And then it's almost abstract. It's sort of in between abstraction and representation. I mean, if you took that off, it would be abstract, I think. But you know, I have enough of a horizon line that it registers, I think, as a seascape. And I just was happy the way it came out. I think the light here is very bright, so I'm noticing there's a lot more color than I remember it when I came in. It was like, oh, there's a lot of color in there. So, but I enjoyed it very much. Do you have any questions? Or
Can you speak about how it's a combination of oil and water? And
oh, it's not.
No.
It's acrylic, and there is water, but there's no oil. Because you mean the different effects?
Is it done flat?
It's done flat.
And it's kind of
And it's liquid, right? And my approach is intuitive. Like I know I'm going to have to pick the colors, otherwise they won't be ready to paint with. So that much is planned. But if I start to paint, I have a general idea of a seascape, but if it does something interesting, I will go that way. I'll just follow it. I don't, you know, the only time I'm not happy with the painting is if I have a preconceived idea of what it's going to look like in the end and I get something else. But then you have to look at for what it is. And sometimes that's better. So, but thank you, Liz, for picking my painting into the museum. Thank you.
Martha Holden. And how about Sharon Hayes? Okay, well, I do know that Joy George is here. Okay, welcome. Yeah.
So again, I would love to say thank you to Liz and to Benton, of course, and the museum and all the volunteers and all the wonderful people here. I'm particularly pleased that it's a drawing that's included because there seem to be fewer drawings in typical exhibits. So I'm very pleased about that. I do many, many, many drawings, figurative drawings every day, every week, mainly like to work in charcoal and very gestural. And I like to just add slight bits of pastel to take the gesture into just a little bit more statement of perhaps the emotion, the feeling, the light, the breath, and make something that comes out perhaps a little more intimate and human rather than looking sort of posed and perfection. So thank you. Oh, and I do want to say a special thank you to Laura Shabbat, who has changed my work over the last 5 years, 4 or 5 years that I've worked with her. And for any of you who are interested in figurative work, find a way to work with her.
Thank you, Joy. Laura Shabbat's exhibition is just in the, oh, and she's here with us. Okay, hi. So if you, after this reception or this gallery talk, if you have any questions, Laura is here to receive you. Carlene Lundgren, is she here? Great, welcome.
Thank you. Hi, thank you again. It's really a pleasure to be a part of this incredible exhibit. I feel really honored, Liz. This is a beautiful exhibit. I'm a printmaker and a painter, and in particular, this is a solar plate print that I worked with. The lines are really important. They are spontaneous. They are just my making marks and just not really thinking about it. And delineating the space with different colors, it's very big abstraction, but it has to do with just how, you can think about it as sort of my life or our lives, that they are filled with a lot of different areas of color that are all different. And there's a lot of confusion, but there's a sense of harmony and meaning, just in the way they coalesce and come together, much like this show comes together too. And that's about it. Okay.
I did give out 3 honorable mentions, and that goes to this print. I just think it's beautifully printed. I think the composition is fantastic, and your color choice is surprising. And it's just a delightful combination of everything. Thank you.
Lawrence Young. By the way, if you do remember any of the other honorable mentions as we go.
Eve Aspinwall, the fire tenders, I also picked that as an honorable mention. I love that painting. So.
The honorable mentions and the award winners will be posted on our website after this. We'll get it up tomorrow. Okay, Gary Urgonski, there he is. Welcome.
Well, I really had fun with this piece. It just kind of came together naturally. I found this piece of brass, which is a base of a fireplace tool kit. And I had part of a picnic table and then the ball and claw feet. And I also found this aspergillium, which is it's a holy water shaker. And I figured, well, it seemed to really kind of go together. And then I was thinking like it kind of felt like a religious theme. And I had this beautiful hood ornament from a 1950 Nash Ambassador, very ugly car, very beautiful hood ornament, I think. So it kind of all came together, and there's some little things around and inside of it. But this became God's Ambassador, and it was really fun to make. So thank you. And hi to Carolyn home.
I want to thank Gary Urgonski and Steve Petruska, who I believe is with us in the other room, for helping to hang this exhibition. It's a lot of commitment, and they've been very helpful throughout the years, but thank you. Julie Brooks. Hey, there you're back.
This piece is called Pond Water Protozoa, and it's encaustic, which those of you who may not know what encaustic is, it's colored wax that you melt. And what I love to do is make a lot of layers and then take carving tools that you would use for a lino cut and just incise into it and then mash oil paint into it. Is extremely therapeutic. I highly recommend it. And this came about because I bought myself, a great toy in 2025, which was a digital microscope where you can just look at all kinds of stuff and it projects it on a screen. So basically, I'm not sure if these particularly are protozoans. I mean, they're kind of protozoan-like. There's the cilia and all that kind of stuff, and it looks murky like pond water. But basically, it's a reminder that what we humans can see with our eyes is a tiny 0.000000001% of what is actually reality. So the real reality is microscopic like this and also astronomical. And it just makes me, just blows my mind to think about it too much. But anyway, that's what this is about.
Thank you. The next work here is by Richard Perry, and he's here. I just want to say a couple words about this. Richard had a solo exhibition here. I guess it was a couple years ago now. And I took his class, and he's got his own methodology that he's developed over the years. And welcome, Richard Perry.
Thank you, and thank Liz. This was done from a charcoal study of a bunch of apples from my Baldwin tree. We had a very prolific tree this summer, and I used them and ate them, and I just love apples. I love pears. My work is an attempt to study how we see in 3 dimensions. And whenever you start with a flat surface and increase the surface area, you cannot go directly from a 2-dimensional space to the 3-dimensional space. Something has to give because there's more area. And in this case, I was trying to see how I could create an illusion of apples being stacked on top of each other. And as you move around it, the relationships change. And I make it positive, and then I cast over it to create the negative image. And to me, it has a different way of looking and a different way of seeing. And I've just been exploring that for about 50 years.
Thank you so much, Richard. I know Joyce Zaborskas is not with us tonight, but she's one of the award winners, and maybe Liz might want to read the statement that she prepared. Maybe she's watching it. She's in Hawaii.
This is called Ocean Sentinel. It's an oil painting. And of course, I've always loved Joyce's work. I'm a printmaker, and she's been a mentor to me for years. And I just always find her work so inspiring. Fantastic clouds and sense of change and motion throughout this painting give the viewer an experience of shifting, eroding, fragile dunes, and yet a powerful sense of place and endurance. I come away from this painting energized and uplifted.
Thank you, Liz. This jury process was completely blind. However, Liz probably knows more artists on the Cape than I do, and so it's hard to be blind if your vocabulary is fluent with those around you. So I do appreciate her I guess honesty and ability to kind of remove herself from the process, even when she had an insider's view. Elaine Cohen. Oh, there you are. Great, snuck up on me.
Well, this is a collage, and lately I've been on a collage-a-thon, really obsessed with collage. I used colored papers. I used mainly my own photographs, and I cut them up. And and I've been very interested in paper quilts. So this is like an example of one of my paper quilts, and I use some traditional patterns, but then I've been leaning to the abstract. So this is what came out of the early fall.
Thank you, Elaine. Let's welcome Lauren Brading with her. You can't see it probably unless you get close to it, but this is also almost like a relief sculpture in itself, because it's a collage, painting, multimedia experience.
Hi, this was a bit of an experiment, really. I was trying to just work in minimalistic abstraction. And when I'm out on the flats, it quite often it feels like that. When I'm walking around, the color kind of gets very minimal, and the angles, and there's a sculptural element to the sand and the way the shafts of light come out. So I thought, well, let's just try it. So I ended up tearing up canvas, and I kind of had Motherwell in my head and Frankenthaler. I don't know. It was a kind of a crazy experiment. I don't normally work with this kind of hard edge extraction. But anyway, it was good fun, and I enjoyed it. So here we are. And I do love, this is one of my favorite events of the year because it brings together, this is what the museum is really for, to bring together people that quite often end up working in isolation, to just be able to share ideas and process. I think it's just so important that we keep this going as long as we can. But thank you, Benton and Liz, and all the hard work that goes into it.
Great, thank you. And thank you, Lauren, also for volunteering here at the museum. We should probably do this last sculpture. If Barbara Ford Doyle is with us. Okay. So you're up, Billy Vall.
Thank you. Thanks, Ben, and thanks, Liz, and everybody. This is really fabulous, always. I'm mostly known for white line block printing, and I do a lot of other things too. But this is, I offered this one because it was one of the innovations that I tried to bring to the process, where mostly carving a line is a border around a color, and I wanted to use the white line as a positive element. So what better way to use lines than for boat rigging? So I lived in Paid-Naram for a while, where the home of the Concordia yachts, and so this is their pier there, where they have all the yachts that they were getting ready to put them away for the winter, and they were all lined up like that, and I thought it was white lines everywhere. So
Thank you, Billy. Bill had a solo exhibition here. I guess it was 2021 or two. It was called, it was the play, what is it? The song and dance, right? And it was, he won our Artist Muse Award. And that was a wonderful presentation right here in this gallery. So it's great to have you back. Okay. So Deborah Fowler Greenwood, are you here tonight? No. How about Beverly Bridgewater Fuller? Yes, great. Welcome.
This is very significant for me because I went to Vesper George School of Art in 1967, got married, had kids, and put away my art career, and I've started again. And so just being chosen is wonderful. I love colored pencil. I discovered it a few years ago. I like the fine detail. And and we travel in Europe a lot, and I just try to take a lot of pictures of colorful scenes and represent them in my art. So thank you, everybody.
Beautiful work. Eileen Casey.
Thank you. My painting is Honesty in Moonlight, and I've done a series of these. Honesty is another name for a silver dollar plant or a money plant. And I like them because I can use all the different colors that pastel has to offer. And that's primarily what I do. I enjoy drawing too. And I like pastel because I can combine painting and drawing in the topic. So I think that's it. This is in Moonlight.
Beautiful colors. Is Dave Kukrian here? Oh, great. Welcome.
Thank you. Hello. So my picture here is of the town hall in Provincetown. And in the way I think about things, everything you do is in some way a self-portrait. So I think there's something about me that keeps coming through my paintings, not intentionally, but there's a sense of peace maybe and calm that kind of comes through. And being in that particular spot at various times with the summer humidity and the temperature, it's a moment that I wanted to recreate. And the goal was to have whoever's looking at it have a sort of a firsthand experience of having been there and kind of feel what that might have felt like. So hopefully a little bit of that came through, and that would be fantastic if it did. And that's it.
Thank you very much. Richard Pollock, come on down. Richard has been in a number of our exhibitions in the past. He works in fresco. It's also his profession, does restoration, and I guess I'll fill in where you don't fill in.
Thank you. My name is Richard. I'm grateful and thankful to be here and with my work here. And this wonderful show here. I call these studies in fresco the series that I've been working on for the past 3 years. And the way these are the subjects are of people that I take street photos in Boston. A lot of my work has been in Boston over the past 30, 40 years. And also another part of my work is doing fresco plaster, decorative Italian plaster, wall finishes. And so what the way the application for this is, I guess a line-based base, which is the black. Yeah, their shirt is actually the raw black lime plaster. It's tinted black, and with no other pigment on top of it. And the color, these are all acrylic colors that I burnish in with a stainless steel knife, and it burnishes the pigment into the pores of the plaster, and then it creates a unique polished type texture and finish. And that's about it. That's about it. Thank you.
Wait 1 second, Richard. It's not quite it yet.
I chose this as our first place winner for the show. A girl with a hat. I wrote color fields rich in tones of purple and lavender against a striking black clad figure create an electrifying composition using a tapestry of marks and layered hues. Wonderful use of light and shadow to create tension and intrigue, beautiful surface textures, and a burnished finish. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you.
Wonderful piece. Thank you. Peggy Richard. Hey.
I'm honored to be hung next to this prize-winning piece. I love his work. I like to explore all over the Cape, and I frequently select subjects that I don't think are that popular, kind of like an ordinary thing, and try to find the beauty in it. One day when I was walking on the beach, I couldn't believe the magenta seaweed and the aqua colored rocks. And this is pretty colorful for me. And also, I think if you study nature and observe it long enough, you'll find things that nature can teach us. The title of this is Between a Rock and a Hard Place. And we've all been there. And also, I felt that, these items have found solace together on the beach, below the dune, and who knows what will happen when the next tide comes in. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Peggy. Mary Doring. Are you here with us tonight? No, okay. Lillian Franton. Here she comes, making her way through the crowd. Great, welcome.
The name is Lilia Brandon. Everyone gets it wrong. Well, what can I say? I think a lot about my paintings. they're probably very simple. But to me, there's many, many things that I deal with when I'm working. I've been painting for 60 years, so it's something that is part of me. So the paintings basically are about all the things that I love. They're about nature, they're about color, they're about movement, air, space. And I don't think there's too much more I can say. Thank you. But oh, I will say, this show is amazingly beautiful, individual pieces, but the way it's hung is just amazing. So thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Lilia. Jody Schalberg. How about Ellen Davies? Is she here? Pamela Reddick. There she is. Great. Welcome back to the museum.
Thank you. Usually I do landscapes that are green and they're peaceful and ecological. And there was, ironically, this is a result of another theme show, and the theme was joy. And so I had to think of what a joyful landscape might be, so I picked fall. And when I did the painting for the show, I was very uncomfortable with these bright colors. It was more green than this one was, but the painting was well received, and the person in charge told me it was her favorite piece. So I thought, maybe I'm wrong and the colors are right. So I did a whole series of these brightly colored, fluorescent hued fall paintings. And I say yes to theme shows because it can change you. Thank you.
Thank you, Pamela. Great contrast of colors. So we have William Forward. Is he here? He come forward.
Thank you. I'm pretty new to all this, and most of the work that I've done have been portraits and other things, lots of landscapes here and there. But we were spending a Christmas in a house, and right behind the house was this. And I just thought, I've got to do something out of this. And so I just did just that. The difference of the spike and the rest, and that's nature. Thank you.
Thank you, William. It's called Winter Cape Cod, oil on canvas. Mark Brennan, are you here? There you are. Great. Good to see you.
Thank you, Ben. I don't know, you might have to get real close to see this because it's a picture of the ocean, which is probably about the second largest thing we see. That's reduced to about a 2-inch by 2-inch square. And it looks a little bit like it might have been painted on paper and pasted on, but it's not. It's painted directly on the wood. So the wood is really doing half the work in my practice. I find them on the beach and mask them a little bit and then paint with oil directly on the wood. And I name them after shipwrecks. This one is named after the Viking, which went down in Wellfleet, 1854. And a year ago, I had another one here, which was in the show that Laura Shabbat juried. So thank you, Laura. Thank you, Liz. That's about all I have to say. Keep it short.
Thank you. There's a lot of details, so make sure you get up close to this work. Ellen Anderson. Oh, great. Good to see you. It's an encaustic called Hold Me.
Thank you. I'm very honored to be included. Thank you, Liz Perry and Benton. This is the favorite painting I've ever done, and I'll keep it forever. I did it the first year I learned encaustic, and it's really the best collaboration between me and encaustics. I only started it, and it took care of itself. I look at it and say, who did that? It was just so amazing. And so the title is Hold Me, because this encaustic has really held me, because I didn't start it till 3 years ago, no art background. And I wrote that it creates a path for me to follow, and it has. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, we offer encaustic classes here periodically, so stay tuned. Yeah, that's where she started, so join us. I know Sarah Coco isn't here right now, but she is very active right now in our pottery studio, helping to do a lot of the mongibles, so I want to thank her for that. Denise Dunlap? Ah, great.
Hi, thank you. Thanks to Liz Perry and to Cape Cod Museum of Art. Much of my artistic education has been here, so I thank the museum. This piece is called Writer's Block, and it was very much, I think many artists in this room can relate to those times when we have not writer's block, but artist block. This started as a piece that was an abstract, just an acrylic, and it just was not working for me, and I just had a block. It was not inspiring me. Pulled it out after a while and decided to collage it, which is one of the first times I had done some collage with the acrylic, and it just started to come alive. So it was a lesson, and come back to it, try some other mediums, try something else. For me, the success in my work is, in layering and mark making, and the hope that it draws people in from far away. I typically do large scale abstracts, but the real success is, does it draw somebody in to want to take a deeper look? And I'm hoping that this piece does that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is Christina Edlund here? I know Leslie Kramer is with us. Come on forward. Great. Leslie is a big part of the Cape Cod Printmakers, they're gonna have their 50th anniversary exhibition as a group, the Cape Cod Printmakers, and that will be coming up later in 2026.
Thank you, Benton. And thank you, Liz, for during this wonderful exhibit, and for everyone who helped hang and put it together. This is my piece, and the title is Migrating Through Time. An important part of this work is serendipity and putting things together that don't normally go together. The background has Chinese characters, and when I was in France several years ago at a flea market, I saw this beautiful, very old wood block from China. And so it just was fascinating to me. I brought it home. And then several years later, actually I took an encaustic class, and it brought different elements together. The fish relate to the Brewster herring run. They're herring, which is a keystone species, very important to many animals for food and to people for food or bait originally. So to me, this symbolizes the text, and the woodblock symbolizes time. The fish symbolize migration, movement, and life. And hopefully they will continue into the future. They certainly had a long past. And I want to remind people of how wonderful they are. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Leslie. We have Helene Straco's textile. Is she here? Great. Yeah. Okay, I'll hold the microphone for you.
Remember, my piece is called the Petit Papillon, even though it's not a butterfly. It's a dragonfly, and it's a tapestry woven using the weft-based ikat technique. The process, similar to tie-dyeing, involves pre-dyeing a continuous length of yarn. As the weaving proceeds, the units of color can be freely woven to find their own path, or in this case, carefully arranged to complete a planned design. Weft-based ikat is my favorite method to weave tapestries due to the creative and fluid nature. And I'd like to thank Benton and Liz and the whole museum for continuing to offer us opportunities to get together like this and celebrate art. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shalene. It's a very subtle piece. It really needs to be seen up close and in person. Beautiful details. Michael Cohen, I believe he's not here tonight. Bonnie Brewer. Yay, Bonnie. You got your fan club.
The posse.
Yeah.
I first of all want to thank Liz Perry very, very much. I think she did an exquisite job on this show. Okay. And also Benton Jones, the whole staff of the museum, volunteers, docents. And my theme, or my title of my piece, is Movement One. And basically my thought process was planetary movement, molecular movement, and also being a member of a very special group of people who have movement disorders, who are quite aware of what movement is about. We're in motion all day. So that is my piece. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bonnie. A lot of movement, that's for sure. Rob Longley, last but not least. Great, all the way from Provincetown.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Ben. I do a lot of Cape Cod landscape paintings, but I'm also drawn to the unconventional, urban landscapes, urban grit. And so this is an example of that. And it would also go with my teacher, Henry Henshey, who said, everything in light is beautiful.
Thank you, Rob. And it is beautiful. So I just want to announce well, do you have something to say?
Say that. I also gave an honorable mention to Cascade by Thomas Hoffman. Okay. That's an honorable mention. So.
Great. So we have a few other associated educational programs that go with this exhibition. There's Chasing Beauty, The Life of Isabella Stewart Gardner by Natalie Drista. And that will be she's an award-winning biographer, and she will be talking about her acclaimed book, Chasing Beauty, The Life of Isabella Stewart Gardner, and that is on February 12th. We also have Explore Cold Wax Medium workshop with Michael Giaquinto. That's February 25th. So it's a one-day workshop exploring the expressive layering techniques of oil paint and cold wax. And the last class I wanted to mention was Alla Zimbovsky, Tradition and Transformation in Russian Icon Painting. Besides teaching encaustic here, she is also an icon painter who learned in Russia how to do this very complex technique. And she will give a presentation that will be free with museum admission and free to members. and you'll discover how century-old methods, symbolic visual language, and modern studio practice converge in the luminous icon paintings of Ala Zinbaski. So I want to thank all of the artists who submitted artwork. I certainly want to thank Liz Perry, and she will be having a solo exhibition here of her own in 2027. So that's something to look forward to. Congratulations to all the selected artists and to the jurors awardees. Stick around for the reception that starts. Oh, we have one more artist. What is your name?
Oh, I can tell you that. Oh, wow. My name is Sharon Hayes, and I have a piece called In Just Spring here somewhere. Back there.
It's back there. Would you like to say a couple words while you got a captive audience?
It is based on, you go over there?
Sure, we'll go. This one? Okay, Sharon Hayes, In Just Spring, the last one, acrylic on cradled wood panel.
I painted this in May when the ferns had just opened up, and I was inspired by the feeling of just turning springtime, and I was inspired by the E.E. Cummings poem, which is In Just Spring, which talks about puddle luscious and mud luscious and puddle wonderful. And I'm thrilled to be in this show. Thank you so much.
Great. Well, thank you, everybody, and stick around for the reception.